Hi everybody, welcome to a quick video about the improvements that Ubisoft are going to be making to Ghost Recon's Breakpoint in the open beta, which is starting in a couple of hours for when I'm making this video. And these changes will also roll through, hopefully, to the main game as well. And I thought it was worth doing a video about this because some of the changes are very, very welcome from some of the missteps that we saw in the closed beta a few weeks ago. So the first thing is the character control. If you played the closed beta, you'll know that your character had a lot of inertia when it came to starting running, stopping running, lying down on the ground and swapping their weapons. And undoubtedly this is more realistic than being able to do things instantly, but it led to a certain disconnect between the character on the screen and what you were trying to do with the character, and made it frustrating in things like gun battles or anywhere where you had to move fast, because you'd end up misjudging things and bumping into trees, or not going up steps properly, or jumping off ledges when you didn't mean to, or it would seem to take forever when you were swapping your weapons. But Ubisoft have responded to this and they've tightened things up. How much they have, it's difficult to say really from the videos how that will feel in the actual game, but there'll be plenty of gameplay coming out where we can judge that for ourselves and see if we've got that more tighter tactical shooter experience that we had in Ghost Recon Wildlands. There's a little video of the weapon switch which seems much faster, so I'm very pleased about that. You can now go to prone a lot quicker and get up. Yeah, getting up is a lot faster. You can see their thinking behind it when you look at this video, because you can get the getting down speed is similar, but you see getting up is a lot slower in the old way, which would be more realistic when it takes you a longer time to get up. But now it's much snappier. Look how faster he gets right into the upright position, and you can cancel when you're getting into loot boxes. This is an important one in terms of, well, for me, whether I'd actually buy the game or not. Actually, if you watched any of my closed beta Breakpoint videos, you know that I found it very funny the way that the guy ran. He would kind of run when you were sprinting. He would run with these, he was trying to run very, very fast, but only using very small footsteps, very small stride. And they've changed that apparently, so it's more realistic. Not really, I can't really see from the video whether it does look better. It does seem to be a little, but we'll see. It was one of those things where you looked at it in the closed beta and go, who on earth approved this? When they saw this, didn't they all burst out laughing and go, no, come on, put the proper running animation in now. The one from Wildlands, put that one in. They've changed the camera angle for a better shooting opportunity, debugged some certain things. Vehicles now handle better when you're handbraking or sliding around corners. Slopes better. They put a lot more helicopters in, so you can get them around the map better. AI, it works in a better way apparently, so but we'll wait and see for that. Difficulty levels, normal and arcade, and easier now. Easier. There's more aim assist as well, and in extreme mode they've taken away the red dots from the minimap, which kind of makes sense. This is an important one. You can now do everything that you would have to go back to the central hub for in Erewhon. You can now do when you set up a bivouac. So the way that it works in Breakpoint is that you crash land on this island. This island has been a manufacturing facility for making advanced drones. The facility has been taken over by these mercenaries. You've been sent to investigate, and your helicopters have been shot down. However, there are inhabitants of the island who are kind of like a resistance movement sort of thing, who are hidden away in this mountain base, and when you go there you can buy stuff off them and do things like that. But it was a bit of a pain because you'd have to fast travel back there to get things like consumables, certain things that you would say, med packs and things, or upgrades for your guns that would become available, different guns that would become available to buy. You'd have to go back there, fast travel back there, then fast travel back, and it would kind of break up the gameplay experience. So what they're doing now is, when you open up a bivouac, and the bivouacs are the fast travel points around the map, a bit like the little way houses in Wildlands, you'll then be able to do all the shop stuff there, which is fairly cool. I think you've just got to separate the shop from actually being in the game, if you see what I mean. It should always be like a menu option. It's not like you're setting up a shop at the bivouac. It just gives you access to that particular menu option there. I mean, I think that you should be able to access it anywhere, you know, and take the leveling up. I always think you take the leveling up of weapons and your character out of the in-game experience, you know. What I mean by that is leveling up of a machine gun doesn't make sense in a realistic way, does it? You know, a machine gun is just deadly. You can get a more accurate machine gun, one that can fire further, maybe fire bigger bullets, but an M16 is an M16. So if you do have RPG mechanics, which there are lots of in Breakpoint, take it out of the kind of the looking into the game and have it as a separate thing, so that we can kind of accept it that way. But anyway, it's easier if it's in the bivouac because you've got easier access to it. Now this is a big one as well when it comes to exploration and the guided experience. So in the closed beta, the way that you worked out what to do was controlled by something called the game mode that you were in, and you had guided game mode and exploration game mode, and the default mode was exploration. And what that meant was, after you'd done I think there was there 3 or 5, something like that, story missions that you had access to in the closed beta, it wasn't really obvious what you had to do next. What you had to do next, if you were in the default mode, was to go out and explore and just wander around the island, and then you would bump into areas that you would then get like side missions to do, or missions to do with different factions that are on the island, and then you could do them, but it wasn't obvious. And I definitely felt that you kind of do a few things and you thought, all right, is that it then? Is that all that's in the beta? Because you know that betas are a limited experience. They don't put the whole game in there. So you think, oh, all right, that was it. Oh, that was okay. But in fact, there was loads more to do in the beta that I never got around to even attempting. So what they're doing now is the default experience will be the guided mode. And also on the map, there will be lots and lots of question marks, so that you know that that's something worth going to look at. I'm pretty sure they did that in Wildlands. I'm pretty sure that's the way it worked. You know, you would have a question mark on the map, and you would go and you would get close to it, and then it would tell you what was at that location, whether it be some intelligence or a side mission or a story mission, you know, stuff like that. So that's very exciting for me, because it means you can keep yourself busy a lot more, and also means that when you're in a particular location, you do a particular mission, you can look at the map and you say, oh, there's something else just around the corner, and you get caught in this, you get sucked in to just wandering around the map and doing things, and that's really cool. That's what used to happen in Wildlands a lot of the time. You'd be playing and you'd do a story mission and go, oh, wait a minute, there's a side mission where I've got to steal a helicopter there, let's go and do that. You steal the helicopter, and then where you'd landed the helicopter, you'd see, oh, wait a minute, there's a side mission where I've got to defend the transmitter there. I'll just do that. And then you look at the map and go, oh, wait a minute, there's a weapon piece at that little village, I'll just do that. And before you know it, we spent like 3 hours wandering around, in Wildlands case, Bolivia. In fact, the more I talk about it, the more I want to play it again. It really was a great game. Yeah, it keeps you in the game, and it keeps you in the action as well. So that's very, very exciting. So, but you can turn this stuff off in the UI if you want that exploration mode. And, you know, we'll see. I think for the purposes of a beta, when you want lots of people to do as much as they can to experience the game so that they can enjoy this game you've created, I think that's a good idea, and it also helps beginners when you first start playing. Then they talk about when you're in Era 1, which is the hub, the fact that, well, it doesn't really matter that bit. They've improved progression balancing, improved the graphics, solved some bugs, and there we go. Then they say, on behalf of the Ghost Recon team, thank you again for your passion, your support and your understanding as we head towards an exciting launch this October, which I think it's in about a week and a half's time. Player feedback is extremely valuable to us, so please continue to share your thoughts and any issues you may experience in the open beta forums once they're active next week. We'll see you on the field, Ghost. Brilliant. So fingers crossed those improvements will make the beta and Breakpoint a more enjoyable game. I did really enjoy its predecessor, Wildlands. I thought it was great. I'm a little bit disappointed that you don't have any AI teammates. Well, at least to start off with, you don't in Breakpoint. Maybe you'll get some more as you discover your friends. I know they were a bit janky, but Breakpoint feels to me it's a lot more like a Sniper Elite experience, you know, where you're going in as a solo operator and you've got to do these things. Everything about Breakpoint I really like the idea of. The thing that I don't like is the drones, of fighting drones. I don't think this should be a Terminator game, and I don't like the fact that you have, well, at the moment I don't like the idea of the fact that it's an RPG game, so that when you go into a certain area, unless your kit is up to a certain level, there's really no point trying to engage the enemies there, because you won't be able to do enough damage to them, in a very, very similar way to the way that the Division 2 works. Now, I do like the Division, you know, I've played it and it's really good fun, but I always felt that with Ghost Recon it should be, if you get into a helicopter and you just fly somewhere and you land, you know, and you don't know where you should, just be able to do that mission. And it could be harder in terms of there's more enemies, the enemies are smarter, there's more machine guns, all that sort of stuff. Make it harder that way, but don't make it just harder in the fact that they've got more armour and I need to have a better gun to kill them. So yeah, it's really strange the way that they went for that as well. My thinking behind it is that maybe they've seen some stats from the Division or the Division 2 where that sort of style of game keeps people playing for longer and probably spending money in the game for longer, maybe, though there wasn't that much to spend money on in the Division. I don't know about the Division 2. But one thing I do know is that Ghost Recon Wildlands was a massive hit. They sold loads and loads and loads of copies of it. And I really wish they'd just followed the way that worked in terms of your progression. You know, you could get different guns, you could get different attachments, but the assault rifle that you started with right at the beginning of the game and the sniper rifle, you could carry that right through to the end when you were killing off the final people on your way to the final boss. But anyway, that's enough from me. There'll be hopefully plenty of Ghost Recon Breakpoint gameplay on the channel soon, or it may already be there depending on when you're watching this video, and you never know, it may well blow me away, and it may well be an essential purchase. Again, I'll put the patch notes in the link in the YouTube description down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.